So let's talk about transphobia, and let's talk about people being transphobic. So transphobia is just another form of projection. I know, psychological term, but we project shit on people all of the time, and I know you do too, I do too. A lot of times we're not realizing it because a lot of it is unconscious. With transphobia, for a lot of people, it is a lot of times quite conscious. So people will project their inner beliefs about transgender people, and transphobia is a form of that projection. When people project shit onto you, they're toxic shit. I call it toxic shit because projections are shit. There's nothing positive about projections. They're always shit, and they're always toxic. When people project their toxicity onto you, they're really, really not talking about you. They can't, because they don't know you. They don't hang out with you. They're projecting their shit onto you because that's just a projection. They're talking about their overall inner inaccurate belief toward transgender people. When people are projecting, in this case transphobia, what they're really doing without realizing actually is exposing themselves, and they're exposing their ignorance, they're exposing their lack of mindfulness, they're exposing their capacity to hurt other human beings. So if anything, when I see people projecting, and I see a lot of people projecting on my YouTube channel because people will leave nasty comments, I feel nothing but sorry, because I see pain, I see wounds, I see people who feel powerless and they feel really small, so they need to elevate themselves and make themselves feel big, so they leave a nasty comment and they feel empowered. So I feel nothing but compassion for them. And I know that they're not talking about me. If anything, they're exposing and showcasing themselves. So this is another way you can look at people being transphobic, that they're really, really exposing themselves. Here's the difference. We all carry things about different groups of people. None of us are perfect, right? Some of us have prejudice about particular racial groups. Some of us have prejudice about particular individual micro groups, particular behaviors people tend to engage in. We all have them, but a lot of us are conscious that we have this. So when we come across a person that falls into that category, a lot of us, because we're conscious and mindful, we keep it to ourselves. We may think a lot of things in our head, but we don't spit it out in order to hurt that person, because we know that this is just my belief. And we also realize that our belief may not be an accurate belief. It may not be the only belief. So this is the difference between people who are mindful. There's a lot of people in the world who don't believe transgender is actually a real thing, who think people who are transitioning are making a mistake, who think a lot of things, but they're not spitting it out in order to hurt you. They're realizing that their point of view, and may or maybe not their point of view won't change, versus people who are being actively transphobic in order to hurt you. And it's coming out of a place of their own wounds and their own pain.